Yes, y'all, and welcome to the 4th episode of Yerrrr with Tuck. I'm your host, Tuck. Today, I'd like to touch on something that, anyone can relate to. Today's episode is about expectations versus reality. What do I mean by that exactly? I'll give you an example. For instance, when I was like 17, I could have swore by the time I was 21, I have my own place, I have a Range Rover, you know what I'm saying? All these ridiculous things that when you're not at that place in your life yet, you're assuming what it's going to be like when you get there. Like, I would have swore I was going to be a rap star by like 23. Would have swore. I would have been out here with all the singers and all the models and all the jewelry and all the champagne. But that's thinking at 16. Now, when you get to 21, 22, 23, and that's not what your life is like, you start to look at yourself like, you a failure, dog. You a failure. And I know all of us do that. You know, a lot of us expect ourselves to be somewhere by a certain time because society has set this standard in which we think we have to withhold and live up to. And that's not true. That is not true, because there is something meant for all of us. There is a divine path for all of us. So you may think it's gonna go one way, but it may go a completely different route and be a lot better. Maybe a whole lot better. So this episode is essentially about not looking too deep into what you haven't done and appreciating what you have and what you still can do. You know, because when you bring yourself down too much, you're going to lose all motivation to go even further than you are. So, hey, it's okay if you don't have that house yet. It's okay if you don't have the amount of money you thought you would have at the age you're at. It's okay if you still live with your parents and you thought by a certain age you were not going to do so. Things will always go according to plan. If it did, a lot of things that happened to you would not have happened. Imagine this, you know, you met one of your best friends ever of all time a few years back in college. If that single blew up when you was 18, you probably wasn't going to stay in college. That awesome girl you met that you about to marry, let's say, you know, you went ahead and got that house when you was 21 and ain't lived with your parents till you was 24. You wouldn't have been taking the bus from your parents' house to where you had to go. How you was going to meet shorty? How was you going to meet her if you wasn't there? You can't have both, people. You cannot have both. You can't have the expectations and the reality. Sometimes your expectations become your reality, which is a blessing, but that doesn't happen for everyone. So when it does happen for someone, the people it don't happen to, you know, they're just shaming themselves. Shaming. Or that guy that you married, that you met at Starbucks or Melrose. If you would have moved to New York 2 years ago like you thought you would not have met the dude on Melrose that you married. You get what I'm saying here? Get what I'm saying? You're put exactly where you need to be, even if it's not where you want to be or you think you deserve to be at that time. That's just reality. So your expectations are always going to let you down if it's not your reality. I, for one, have had numerous expectations not come to fruition, but through growth and experience, I realized, hey, maybe it's best that this didn't happen. Maybe it's best that this didn't happen. Because things can always happen later. Your greatest risk is always is giving up. Your greatest risk is giving up because you never know what's coming up. I can tell you from experience, I've literally had one of my worst days ever this Tuesday, and 2 Tuesdays after that, I was in the clouds. Everything worked itself out. Where I thought was a hole in which I could never get out of, I have not only risen above, but I've surpassed where I was prior to such. So you never know what is around the corner, what is in store for you, anything of that nature. That is things that are beyond your control, honestly. And, you know, you just got to play your part. You play your part, the universe will play their part. But doubting, second guessing, and just not liking the outcome of certain things because it wasn't your expectations, you know, you can't take for granted what what you've been granted. So expectations versus reality, y'all, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's not only a thing from a movie. It's not only a Tumblr meme. You know, a lot of people seriously beat themselves up like Stone Cold Steve Austin in '98 because they didn't do what they thought they were gonna do at a certain time. You know, some people think that they should need to have kids before they're 30 or get married before they're 30. A lot of women in their 30s always have some type of gripe not being married at a certain age because their family is looking at them like, what's wrong with you? Why are you still single? Don't let people do that shit. Don't let people do that shit. You probably like Molly from Insecure. Successful, got your own. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with being successful and alone past 30. That is fine. Because maybe you meet that fine dude when you're 37. You could have met some clown when you were 29. I'd rather meet a fine person at 37 than a clown at 29. You understand what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this? You catch my drift? Cool. It's okay to accept your reality. Doesn't make you a failure for not achieving the goals you thought you would achieve by a certain time. It's okay to motivate yourself to want to do more and learn from the mistakes you made so you can say, hey, I'm gonna do it better this time. As opposed to just straight up like, my life is in shambles, I suck, yada 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 yada. You know, self-reflect and keep it going. Cause too much self-reflection and projection of negativity is not gonna help you get to where you expect yourself to be. There's a good chance you didn't get that job because there's a better job lined up. There's a good chance that that song didn't take off because it just wasn't your time and you probably avoided a lot of bullshit. Maybe you didn't get that casting call because there's a better casting call around the corner, or they were just shifty people that had to do with the job. There's so many reasons and outcomes and just forces that make things happen for a reason. So I know it's not the easiest thing to just say, I accept it. But hey, it works a lot more than self-shaming. I need to find a way to do like dope graphics. Like it would have been dope. Just that boom, self-shaming, like right on the bottom, like in bubble letters. I'm gonna figure that shit out. Self-shaming. Don't do it. On this episode, we're gonna start the dictionary of tough. So essentially, every word in the dictionary of tough is words that I want y'all to like cut out of your brain, your mind, and your vocabulary. I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna write out the Tuck Dictionary. We're gonna keep track of this in future episodes. But self-shaming does not help anything. Self-realization does. You know? Self-motivation does. Give yourself the pep talk you give your best friend. Ain't that some shit? When our best friend go through probably the same thing we do, we have all the advice in the world. Like, cause we experienced this. So we're just like, yo, you know, But we don't do that. We don't do that for us. You don't do that for you. Me don't do that for me. Like, we gotta fix that. We got to fix that. And that's what Yerrrr with Tuck is all about. Fixing it up. Fixing it up. Get your mind right and your life right. Because I'll be honest with you, if this is the YouTube to get your body right, you're on the wrong channel. You were on the wrong channel. I'm trying though, but you're on the wrong channel. You know what I'm saying? Fitness is that way. But yeah, reality is a beautiful thing. It may not be all the time, but reality is a beautiful thing. And even though sometimes we get what we expect, it's most times a lot more fun when you get things you don't expect. So, hey. You didn't move out by 18. You didn't get accepted to the college you wanted to. So on and so forth. I bet you if I meet up with you in a year, you're going to be in a better spot than you thought you were going to be right now. Thanks for tuning in with Yerrrr with Tuck. Thanks for tuning in with Tuck. And this is Yerrrr with him. Yerrrr with Tuck. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you can hear a couple more words from your boy, or you can bump a couple of my jams. I am a rapper in case you didn't know so. I'm gonna be stacking y'all with episodes because I missed a couple weeks, had some things going down, but we back. Feel free to give me more topics to touch on if you'd like to hear my take and my spin on it. And I will see you next time.